I'm back. Rodrance for our Black and White Network. We're going to talk about the great governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and Greg Abbott of Texas. Of course, the left stream media is losing their ever-loving minds. We've got Reid. We've got some other embed, Joe Scarbough. They're calling, oh my goodness, let's prosecute. Can we prosecute these governors for political human trafficking? Choosing to completely ignore the fact that Joe Biden, or as I like to now call him, Jose Biden, who is so brave, stunning, and courageously just allowing these illegal aliens as well as criminals just to flow through our border right into my state of Texas. Doesn't give a shit what I think about it, you know. And yeah, you can tell it's made its way all the way up here. 6 hours north of the border, you can tell it. Absolutely. You look around, you're like, oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, just an influx. So Greg Abbott, Ron DeSantis, of course, have taken action. They've started trucking these individuals with consent. And by the way, I've got a big part of this video, really and truly, is about the fact that DeSantis is producing receipts now. Okay, the consent forms. He's got them. We're going to talk about that. So let's see what these left stream media nut jobs. Let's check out what they have said first. And then we'll go over and we'll check out the story where DeSantis is actually pulling the receipts out. Numerous figures on MSNBC have claimed that DeSantis and Abbott were engaged in human trafficking. Whatever the political buzzwords we can pull out of our ass and use right now. On Friday, after boasting about the compassion of Martha's Vineyard's residents towards the Venezuelan migrants, MSNBC Morning Joe host Joe Scarbough called DeSantis' move, quote, political human trafficking during a conversation with former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Good God. Clinton quickly agreed, saying, quote, some politicians are exaggerating the issue of immigration to the level of literally human trafficking. Well, look no further than Jose Biden. Yeah, Jose Biden. Flying people out in the middle of the night. Man, it's so funny how people get amnesia. A day earlier, MSNBC host, the racist-ass Reid herself, asked Miami Herald reporter Dave Olivali about the incident in Martha's Vineyard. Incident? What incident? About the incident in Martha's Vineyard and about past instances of sending migrants from red states to blue states. Quote, is there any conversation that's being had through your reporting about whether or not this is a crime, Reid asked. Because this has been called trafficking. There's now a lot of chatter about what these governors, including Ron DeSantis, have done is to have trafficked these families. And of course, we have a sheriff down here, a Democratic sheriff in Bahia County that is wanting to come out, and he's saying he's investigating DeSantis, although he can't put his finger on any kind of laws that's been broken. So in other words, if you're down in that county, he's literally burning your dollars right now. Yeah, that sheriff is. So DeSantis came back. He came back late last night, and he presented this. Also, Fox News, DeSantis' office hits back after class action suit for migrants. Reveals, oh my goodness, quote, the consent forms that were allegedly signed. That's right. Wait a minute. I thought these migrants were blindly going places they didn't know. And there was no clue. Uh-oh. He's produced the receipts that they do in fact know. The office of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Tuesday slammed a class action lawsuit filed by illegal immigrants flown to Martha's Vineyard last week, saying the journey was done on a voluntary basis. The lawsuit filed in the District of Massachusetts alleges that DeSantis and others, quote, designed and executed a premeditated, fraudulent, and illegal scheme centered on exploiting this vulnerability for the sole purpose of advancing his own personal, financial, and political interest. In a statement provided to Fox News, Governor DeSantis spokeswoman Taryn Finsky slammed the class action lawsuit as, quote, political theater perpetrated by opportunistic activists at the expense of illegal immigrants. That shouldn't surprise us. Quote, if these activists spent a fraction of this time and effort at the border, perhaps some accountability would be brought to the Biden administration's reckless border policies that entice illegal immigrants, aliens, let me just keep it real, illegal aliens, to make dangerous and often lethal journeys through Central America and put their lives in hands of cartels and coyotes. She then provided Fox News with a copy of the consent form available in English and Spanish, and that she said was given to migrants before they boarded. Look at that. Official consent to transport. Blank and blank agreed to be transported by the benefactor or its designated representatives to locations outside of Texas. To locations in sanctuary states. I agreed to hold the benefactor and its designated representative harmless of all liability arising out of in any way relating to any injuries and damages that may occur during the agreed transport to locations outside of Texas until the final destination of Massachusetts. The benefactor and designated officials represent that they are not providing transportation made in furtherance of any unlawful entry into the United States. Uh-oh, he pulled out the receipts. The class action lawsuit alleges that the migrants were told they were going to Boston or Washington, quote, which was completely false, and were introduced with perks such as $10 McDonald's gift certificates. Oh, that's funny as hell. Quote, no human being should be used as a political pawn. Ivan Espinoza Magrel, executive director of Lawyers for Civil Rights, a crook, gotcha, which is seeking class action status in the lawsuit filed on behalf of several migrants who were aboard last week's flights. Wow. Alonzia America's a network of advocacy groups. The lawsuit alleges that migrants were induced to cross state lines under false pretenses, a line that some Democratic officials are using to urge a federal investigation. Quote, the immigrants were homeless, hungry, and abandoned, and these activists didn't care about them then. Florida's program gave them a fresh start in a sanctuary state. These individuals opted to take advantage of chartered flights to Massachusetts. It was disappointing that Martha's Vineyard called in the Massachusetts National Guard to bust them away from the island within 48 hours. We wouldn't want them to intrude on any kind of wine festivals or some cheese tasting or anything like that the immigrants might have sauntered into while everybody's wearing their pink polo shirts and their khaki pants away from the golf course, and when they can all sit around in rooms and talk about how brave, stunning, and courageous they are. When it comes to things like fully accepting illegal immigrants into our country, just not in their actual area, not this area, not this actual town, somebody else's town, but we fully support them being somewhere else besides right here. And did you see the picture where they were literally standing out there and they're smiling? They really think they did something. Martha's Vineyard. DeSantis and Greg Abbott, as I said yesterday, literally sent these people to a vacation destination. Literally. DeSantis, Abbott, if you want to send me up to Martha's Vineyard, I will. They'll kick my ass out quicker than they will illegal. They'll be like, oh my God, the rednecks are coming. That's right. The Clampetts have showed up to your little wine tasting contest. When do we get to the beer? The beer, is this mic on? When do we get to the beer? Yeah. Wow. This is hilarious. I mean, it's crazy because, look, DeSantis and Abbott are just clearly trying to teach everybody a lesson and trying to get this in the mainstream media. Because the one thing about this whole border thing that's happened, and I've noticed it, look, outside of Fox News and Newsmax and OAN, Outside of that, CNN and MSNBC, it has been, and never mind your other mainstream publications, like the AP and Reuters and all these. Look, it's been crickets. Okay, it's been Daffy Duck on stage dancing ta-da to crickets. They have not covered the absolute atrocities just flowing across the border down here in Texas and in Arizona and all these other places. They haven't touched it. And DeSantis and Abbott knows this. And they said, look, we're going to do something that's going to get everybody's attention, whether you like it or not. And you want to talk about Muriel Bowser and Lori Lightfoot and Eric Adams and all these other Democratic assholes want to talk about how accepting they are of everybody. Prove it. You say you're a sanctuary state, sanctuary cities. You're welcome with open arms. Yeah, until your airspace is actually invaded by these people. And then all of a sudden, it's an issue. The hypocrisy is blinding here. It's blinding. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. I really love these two governors. I really do. I mean, this was one of the most brilliant political moves I've ever seen by any governors. It was really smart. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.